Everyone has their own crazy ideas about the many ways one could spend $1 billion. If you're wondering what real-life billionaires actually do with their cash, you're in the right place. Here's a sneak peek into the life of the Prince of Brunei and how he spends that insane amount of money. Let's get into it. Meet Hassan al-Bolkiah, the Sultan of Brunei, who owns 500 Rolls-Royces and 300 Ferraris. And that's beside the fleet of private jets he has in his collection. The 75-year-old Sultan is the son of Omar Ali Saifuddin III, and is one of the super fortunate people that are born into immense wealth. In fact, his wealth is spent with both hands, and the entire world is a witness to it. You can tell that the guy's the definition of lucky because his father, despite having 10 children and several wives, chose Bolkiah as the successor from an early age. That's like being born with a diamond spoon in your mouth. Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah of Brunei is one of the wealthiest people the world has ever known, with an estimated fortune of $30 billion. And his collection of luxury cars is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the incredible ways the Sultan chooses to spend his money. He has managed to amass the world's largest collection of rare cars, with one of the Rolls-Royces in it being entirely gold-coated. There are over 7,000 cars in total, with an estimated combined value of $5 billion US. Other than that, he also boasts tons of private jets. And of course, they aren't just your regular ones. These customized jets practically ooze with luxurious facilities. A single one of them is enough to leave you mind blown for days. Boeing 747-400, Boeing 767-200, Airbus A340-200 jets, the Sultan has them all. In fact, according to several reports, the Boeing 747-400 jet is also plated with gold, like his beloved Rolls-Royce. And there's a whole list of other facilities the jet has in store for its passengers, including a living room as well as a bedroom. Extraordinarily expensive cars are just one aspect of the Sultan's lavish lifestyle. His world-class house isn't any less impressive either. The Istana Nur al-Iman Palace of Hassan al-Bolkiah is what you'd call an architectural marvel that is guaranteed to leave anyone who sets their eyes on it jaw-dropped. It's essentially like one of those castles we're used to seeing in fairy tales and fantasy novels. The place has over 1,700 rooms, 257 bathrooms, and 5 swimming pools. And that's apart from the 110 garages, along with air-conditioned stables for over 200 horses. The place is worth 2,550 crore rupees, which is honestly more money than most of us can ever dream of having. Not only that, but the Sultan has a home in Las Vegas as well, an estate with an official listing of $37.5 million. It's a property sitting on no less than 11.2 acres of land, including an international-sized swimming pool, a swan pond, and gigantic gardens with an arcade of palms. The landscape is pretty spectacular, with fountains, lawns, sitting areas, and extensive lighting decorations all over the place. There are 8 different buildings that make up the complete house. And there's an equestrian center, along with a polo track, a sushi bar, and a discotheque. If that's not mind-blowing enough, every single thing about the palace is super large. The master bedroom, kitchen, master bathroom, every place you look, there's an adventure waiting for you. And it's not just the house itself that's impressive. The Sultan has chosen the perfect location, too, with the neighborhood being home to some of the most well-known hotels, casinos, residential buildings, and resorts in the world. Now that we've had a look of where the Sultan of Brunei lives, and what cars he has in his collection, what do you think his everyday life is like? After all, he is a human being with very predictable needs. But unlike the rest of us, everything the Sultan does is just a tad bit more expensive. What's the maximum amount of money you're willing to spend on a single haircut? Maybe a few $100s if you're feeling super fancy. And you'll probably question your decision throughout. Well, the Sultan of Brunei has $20,000 at his disposal for his haircut needs. According to multiple sources, Bolkiah flies out his favorite barber from London, where he works at the Dorchester Hotel in Mayfair. Of course, that's not your regular barber. The Sultan flies him first class at a cost of about $12,000, so you can imagine how good he really is. When it comes to hobbies, the Sultan happens to be quite fond of badminton. What do you think he pays his personal coach? A staggering $2 million wage. To give you some perspective on how seriously the Sultan takes his sports, that's also the amount he spends on acupuncture and massages. So yeah, quite seriously. And his passion for sports doesn't end at badminton. The Sultan got the world's most successful ever golfer, Jack Nicklaus, to design a golf course for him at one of his hotels. He's also very particular about the shoes he wears, especially when it comes to his sports time. While playing polo with Britain's Prince Charles, the Sultan once had his polo shoes delivered to the palace field through a helicopter, because he just didn't want to have it any other way. When you're such a huge deal, you're bound to get attention from international leaders paying you a visit every now and then, and it's just common courtesy to make special preparations for your guests. The Sultan goes the extra mile when it comes to this. He really makes sure his guests are entertained through and through. He's commissioned his own private zoo with 30 Bengal tigers, falcons, flamingos, and cockatoos that can play basketball, ride bicycles, sing, talk, imitate other animals, and a whole lot of other amusing activities. It doesn't even matter how old one is. A zoo like this is a guaranteed source of entertainment. Another grand demonstration of the Sultan's outrageous wealth and extravagant lifestyle was his 50th birthday celebration back in 1996. So a birthday celebration is usually associated with a single day, right? That's what most of us are used to doing. But hey, then again, we're not worth $30 billion. Sultan Hassanal splashed out $36.9 million on 2 long weeks of celebrations for himself, with a polo match and a lavish gala dinner with beluga caviar on the menu being some of the highlights. As if that wasn't enough, the guy got Michael Jackson to perform at 3 different concerts to mark the occasion. The exhibit cost him $25.8 million. But that's not really a big deal, is it? When there's so much money at your disposal, no matter how much you spend on others, it just doesn't seem enough. Still though, the Sultan has been pretty generous with his lavish presents and the jewelry he gets for his loved ones. When his eldest daughter, Princess Rashida, was getting married in 1996, the Sultan flew in Whitney Houston to perform for the guests at a reported cost of $7 million. So, what are your thoughts on the outrageous ways the Sultan of Brunei chooses to spend his unimaginable wealth? Do you think the ideas are creative enough? And what would you do if given the chance? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and tune in next time for more amazing content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.